9.3. Very nice. And give it up for Karen Reiner.
I learned a lot of useless stuff in high school. Maybe some of you could agree. You know, the Pythagorean theorem, how to calculate the circumference of a circle, and memorizing the Gettysburg Address. 3 things I've never needed since I graduated school. But 27 years ago, I made a bunch of friends. And I ran with this group of like roughshod goody two-shoes. And, you know, one of us volunteered at a convent. Some of us went to church weekly. One was going for perfect attendance. And one of us was the reigning Montgomery County champion in the Future Business Leaders of America grammar competition. I didn't put that on my profile picture because I had to have some suspense for my husband. I didn't tell him about that till after the ring was on my finger, right, honey? Right? So we were goody two-shoes all along. And it had come to senior year, and senioritis was starting to kick in. And we thought it was time to push the envelope a little bit. Now, I went to Abington High School. It's in the suburbs of the city here. It was a big school, and they ran that place like a tight ship. And they really wanted to control the learning environment. So they had strict rules about what bathroom you could use at any given time. So if you were in the lunchroom, you could only use the bathroom by the lunchroom. This way you wouldn't be going through the hallways and disturbing the classes. Well, my goody two-shoes friends and I decided that we were gonna like stretch the boundaries of our limits. And we got passes to go to the bathroom, and we went to the bathroom, the good bathroom, in the science wing. We lost our innocence in the bathroom in the science wing. We walked in there, and there was one of the toilets had a penny in the bottom of it. And for some reason, this was like hysterical to us. And this bathroom became like our clubhouse. Every day at lunch, we'd eat as fast as we could, then we'd get hall passes, then we would go hang out in the bathroom. You know, other people were smoking behind the dumpsters at the 7-Eleven, you know, and stealing alcohol from their parents. And we were hanging out in the good bathroom where we didn't belong. So my friend Cindy was about to turn 18, and we concocted this plan that we would throw a birthday party for her in the bathroom. Yeah, like this is the kind of shenanigans goody two-shoes get into, right? So we baked some cupcakes, and some of us got down there early, and we decorated the whole place with toilet paper, like streamers, and there was a sign that said happy birthday, and then we fished into our Le Sport Sac handbags. Is there anybody here from 1981 who knows what that is? Yeah. And we fished out the change, and we put 18 cents in the toilet for 18 years old. And Cindy came, and you know, we showed her throne with the money, and we laughed, and we had cupcakes, and we were having a blast. And somebody had shredded some toilet paper. They threw it as confetti just at the moment that the chemistry teacher walked into the bathroom. Gave us the side eye, washed her hands, gave us another side eye, and left. And that's when we knew our lives were over. And then the bell rang, and we had to disperse, and you know, some of them went to class, and 3 of us went to study hall, and we were nervous wrecks, and the phone rang in study hall, and Mr. Young, the proctor, answered the phone and said, the vice principal's office? Karen? Anne Marie? Cindy? Hung up the phone, the whole gasp across the whole study hall, because what could the 3 of us have possibly done wrong? So we get sent to the vice principal's office. The vice principal was this tiny little woman, Dr. Zimmerman. She was responsible for all the ne'er-do-wells in the school. And she had these big dark circles under her eyes, and she was really tiny. And so she sat at her desk with her arms on the desk, and she was like low in the chair. And in order to have the power trip you needed as the vice principal, she made the other chairs on the other side of her desk were those little tiny kindergarten chairs. So, you know, so here we are, we're sitting down really low. She's at her desk. She's sitting there like this, like Mikey from the Life commercial. And she says, would you ladies like to explain what was going on in the bathroom? So Anne Marie's brave enough to say, well, today is Cindy's birthday. And Dr. Zimmerman says, well, happy birthday, Cindy. And then Anne-Marie said, so we decided to throw her a party in the bathroom. And Dr. Zimmerman says, naturally. Don't we all throw parties in the bathroom? And then Anne-Marie said, and that's all that we were doing. And Dr. Zimmerman says, what about the festoons of toilet paper? That was school property. And what about the confetti on the floor? That was destruction of school property. And what about the 18 pennies in the toilet? We're going to have to hire a plumber. You are in very big trouble. And then she made us rat out the other 3 girls who were not called to the vice principal because they were in an actual class. And we got 2 nights detention. And then it started to snow. And while we were in detention, it snowed so hard that they told us that the 1 night of detention would count as 2 nights because of the weather emergency. And so the 3 of us that went to the first detention were like, okay, you know, we did the crime, we're doing the time, we're getting out easy. The other 3 were going to have to do 2 full nights. And then that night, Dr. Zimmerman, this is really the sad part that I sometimes laugh when I say and I'm embarrassed to do. Dr. Zimmerman was in a horrible car accident in the snow and she died. I know, good for me, I didn't laugh. When I was in high school, we found this to be kind of funny because it turned out she had not recorded our punishment yet because it happened late enough in the day. So even though we had a pimple here and there, our permanent records still were unblemished. And anyway, what I learned from this experience in the long run is that I've never had to calculate the circumference of the circle of my friends, but I can guarantee you there are more squares in my friend group than there are in the Pythagorean theorem. And this friend group, we have been together for over 50 years. We've seen each other through heartache and happiness, marriage, divorce, the birth of our children, the deaths of our parents, horrible, terrifying cancer diagnoses, all kinds of awful things. And we have continually found a way to face it all with laughter and just a little bit of shenanigans. And we get together every year, and inevitably one of us finds a penny in the bottom of our toilet because we know that our friendship is worth every cent. Thank you.
Keep it going for Karen Reiner.